Hello everybody, this is the first lecture of technical drawing. I will give the lectures in small videos, so each lecture will be like 15-20 minutes. So in first lecture we spoke before about the engineering drawing, what is it, and the drawing standards. So we took, for example, the description of a graphical language and where is this is a surface, this is an edge, and this is a point or corner. So after that we define three ways of drawing: freehand sketching, and using the instruments, and finally using CAD's computer aided programs, using computer like AutoCAD. Then we go to see that freehand sketching, like what I do on the whiteboard, to draw using my hand without any restricted rules or without following any rules. Then we have the using of instruments, which is accurately and giving a detailed scales and dimensions of each line or circle, so it giving exactly what you have in the drawing. Finally you speak about the computer aided drafting and software like the AutoCAD, that what we will discuss more in this class. Next, the elements of any drawing, it is two things: the graphic language, the lines, this line, the red line, and the word language, this one in the blue, which is usually is the dimensions. Next, the drawing paper. The drawing paper have these boxes, which is the title box. We write here the name, the title of the drawing, the scale, the sign, the signature, the date, everything. Or even if this drawing is a part of another drawings, like a building, and you have multiple drawing for each floor, for example. And here you see the drawing itself, and here maybe you see some notes about this drawing. For example, if this is a drawing for a mechanical part, so the mechanical part have some materials, a specific material used in species. Then we will see that there is standards. The definition of a graphic language is a set of rules. So to follow these rules, you now drawing a technical drawing. Otherwise, you just follow arts and design of creative arts and whatever. So the standards in everywhere, each country have a specific standard. For example, ANSI for USA or GIS for Japan. This is what we have in each country. So each country have specific code, a standard that you have to follow. It is have the specific rule that everybody in this country have to follow. So anybody from this country will learn, or will if he see your drawing, he will understand directly what is this. And usually this drawing and this code, sorry, have a specification about the weather, about the land, about the characteristics of this specific country, and its legality and legal or illegal, the law itself also. And then we have the standards of the sheets. You know this already. We have A4 and A4, if 2 of A3, 2 of A2, 2 of A1, A0. This is the paper standard in dimension, the standard paper. There, I know that there is another type of papers, but this is the standard paper that we usually use for drawing. like I said before, this is the place for drawing and this is the place for title blocking. Maybe it's like this or like this, but we usually go with this one because it's very large, so it give you a more large dimension. And here maybe you will have some notes. Now the scales meaning the dimension of the drawing in your drawing, that corresponding to the dimension in the actual world. For example, if you have a building, you will not use, for example, usually we use a meter for as a unit for the drawing. But if you want to draw using meters, if you have a building that, for example, 50 15 meters, one side of it, you can't draw 15 meter in one paper. So we use scales that convert or represent this actual building or actual object in a paper. So we have this scale. So there is two type of scales, one called enlargement scale, this one, enlargement scale, and one called reduction scale. Enlargement scale, it is if there is x here and x here. For example, if this is 2, if this is 2 and this is 10. Okay, so if you have 2 here, imagine that there is a slash here instead of, it is like this is the correct way of writing scales. But if you have this one, imagine that there is a slash here, so 2 over 1, so it will gives you 2. So it's enlarge the scales. For example, if you drawing in your an electrical object or electrical instrument or mechanical, so there is small parts of mechanical drawing that is very small, that you have to enlarge its dimension. It is in millimeter, so you want to enlarge it so you can see that the characteristics of this drawing. So returning back, you will see here this is a reduction which is suitable more for architecture, for civil engineering, and for other things that you have to it's very large in meters or maybe in kilometer for landscape, for example, and you want to reduce it to see it in one paper. So it is 1 to 10. So here is the x. So if you see this is as slash 1 over 10, so it is smaller size or smaller dimension than the actual dimension. Now let's go to the second thing. Now there is dimension number. The dimension number, there is a standard scales actually, but if I set for you, for example, draw this under this scale, then you will have to follow the scale that I set to you, which will be one of these standard, not nothing it's supposed to be using standard numbers of integer numbers like this, so everybody will see it, he will know or understand. After that, the last thing is writing. Usually you see writing in the dimension or in the paper of the your drawing in general. This writing, yes, this writing supposed to be like this, large or upper scale letters like this in one lines, not like this one and one upper scale, one lower scale, or upper lower. It is supposed to be in between two lines from 2 to 3 millimeters. So it is easy to read, easy to write, easy to understand. Anybody can see it, anybody can understand what is this writing or what is this numbers. To the next slide. Yes. Yes, so next one is the style that you will have here. The style, yes, this is the 2 or 3 of the millimeter, I think. Otherwise, he will speak about. I will skip this one. This is like how to write or how to write it. It's all supposed to be like this. It's very good. Now the types of lines. The last thing is the type of lines. The type of lines is four type of line. This line is thick, which is the visible line, and this is one is the dimension line. This is the same. It's a solid line, but it is as a lighter line or thin line. And this is the hidden line, which is corresponding to the any hidden line or any hidden things in your drawing. I will go through it in the AutoCAD. And then finally the dash line, center line, sorry. Center line is for the any representation of a circle or a cylinder in your drawing. You're supposed to be referring to this is a circle or a part of a circle, or an arc, for example, or a cylinder. So you have to represent it using some sort of line that is differentiated, or you can distinguish it directly from the other line. So this is the line that we have here. This is the center line. So this is the fourth line that we use in the drawing. Finally, if we see a drawing here, you will see the fourth line that we speak about. This one is the solid or the leader line that we use it, and the that line is the dimensions here. All the dimension they have a names, but all of them the same line. And here you will have the center line, this one. This is the center line that's correspond representing or seeing that this is the center point of a circle, and this is a circle, or this is a part of a circle. This is supposed to be a large arc, and here also. So for a small arc like this, we don't corresponding, so we don't represent a small arc like this as we don't have to put a center line for it. But for the circle or a large part of a circle like this one, we use a center point and a center line. Okay, so this is the end of this part of the lecture. Thank you very much for hearing me.